Okay, hi guys, welcome to the very first episode of my YouTube series, Tech Chat with Slim Fit. Basically, what I'll be doing in this YouTube series is to bring different tech experts, right? People that work in digital technology, talk about web developers, mobile app developers, digital marketers, right? Growth marketing managers, marketing managers, right? To talk about their career journey, talk about their experiences, talk about their day-to-day activities, talk about what inspires them, right? And talk about what they've learned on their job, right? And their challenges. Just so for upcoming tech bro, and techies like yourself can learn from them, learn about their activities, and get to know them more, right? So on today's edition of the show, I have with me a growth marketing expert who has worked with two big fintech companies in Nigeria. Hi guys, so join me in welcoming Feranmi Ajetomobi. He's an experienced growth marketing expert which worked with top fintech companies in Nigeria. I started with PowerWise and now with Okra, right? Basically, we're going to be talking about growth marketing, right? And how you as an upcoming or enthusiastic growth marketer can learn one or two things from him, from his journey, how he's been doing his trade and all of that. Feranmi, thank you for coming on board. Thank you for honoring the invitation. I won't take this for granted. Yeah, so let's get straight to the business of the day. So you're an experienced growth marketer, right? I want you to share with my audience how has your journey been, your career experiences. How did you start? Right? What did you study in school? How did you get interested in growth marketing? Did you take any sort of certifications, right? Or you learned on the job, right? What inspires you? You know, I want people, that are watching to learn. Especially guys that are interested in growth marketing. Please don't tell us it is God, right? And don't give us aspire to aspire. Just tell us that it is practical scenario and everything you've gone through in your career and how you got to where you are today.
So interestingly, I wanted to study medicine at the beginning of my university career. And I didn't get into medicine. We in Nigeria is so I got in for human kinetics. But at one point, I dropped out. I finally came out to study economics, and that formed the foundation of how I got into fintech and the idea of growth marketing. Basically, the part of economics that I love the most is the behavioral economics part, where you design models and try to influence people's behavior, understand how people behave, and so that's the foundation of growth marketing. Because what you're trying to do with growth marketing is distribute your product across a particular audience, and to make that successful, you have to understand their behavior and target those behaviors with your marketing strategies. So one beautiful morning, I was going through my WhatsApp. I'm not going to fit it, but prior to that, I had done something with Alas across the University of Lagos for distribution. Then I saw someone's video that they visited PowerWise as student ambassadors. I then sent a DM to the co-founder. Not like I sent it to Karen, but it was a small thing that they had 1,000 followers, and the co-founder was there.
It was one page. Okay, let's start up there.
Yeah, they were like, okay, let's have a talk. Had a call.
No, sorry. What was the? Do you want
I made a
content of the DM? So that my guys can learn.
I made a proposal to PowerWise. Then I said, hey, I know you guys are trying to get into the student community. This is what I can do for you.
Oh, nice.
However, if you want to implement this without my help, there's no problem. Just go and implement it. I think he was interested in the fact that I was willing to offer something for free.
So it's basically about offering value. They saw the value.
I offered this value, and I made it clear that you can work with them. But of course, there was a gap. I had to fill that gap. So I knew that I kind of expected a callback. You understand? So there was a freebie, when somebody gives you a free experience, and for you to continue, that's pay subscription. So that was the idea I used then. So he called me. We had a call for about an hour. The next week, I was working at PowerWise.
So it all started with a DM. So guys, this is something. So what I've learned so far. Sorry to cut you short, Feranmi. What I've learned so far is it's not a bad idea to eat into the DMs, right? But when you want to do that, sell value. Don't go to DMs. Please help me. Give me this. Give me that. Nobody's gonna reply a DM. Give me this. Give me no. Sell value. Sell yourself. This is what I can do, right? And I'm happy that went well, and I'm happy that's a success story. Sorry.
But good advice is, it doesn't necessarily work with very big companies. In case of very big companies, it's better for you to either go through LinkedIn, find someone that actually works there, either active on LinkedIn,
Yeah.
make your proposal there, or you could engage with their tweets online. Say, for example, you found out company X that you like very much, you have a conversation with them. More often than not, given the world right now, most startup founders or most senior consultants will talk about their problems all the time and offer solutions, banter with them, and gradually use that to like send you your proposal. So I started off my career as a social media manager. From social media management, I went on to take on brand storytelling, moved on to growth associate before I now went to the peak of my career as a growth marketer there at Careers. And before I left, I moved on to another company, Okra, which is an open finance platform in Africa. I was also consulting for a number of fintechs. I still do consult for a number of fintechs, and I'm very interested. I've tried other tech spaces, but I just love the fintech space. I love the fintech space.
There's money in fintech. That's what you don't tell us.
No, like I mentioned earlier, like the back there's money in it. But the background of my interest started from behavioral economics. I love behavioral economics. I love behavioral finance, and those are the foundations of marketing in fintech, either on the B2B side or the B2C side.
Yeah. So another question. In this your career journey, was there at any point did you take any certification? Was it online course, or were you in any class? Were you sponsored, or did you attend any training pertaining to growth marketing, or you learned on the job?
I learned on the job actually, and that's growth is about experiments. You constantly experiment and see what works, how it helps you. But I do intend to take a lot of courses. But however, I've been doing a lot of reading. I follow a couple of people like Julian Shapiro. I follow Andrew Chen. I read a lot of Andrew Chen's essays. There are a lot of growth essays that exist. So the good thing about growth essays is that they're very experimental. You can pick things from the essays and experiment them at your company, get lessons from them, and then tweak it to your own style. I'll give you a very simple example. There was a time at Carrywise I wanted to launch something called the Carrywise badges. Badges are simply things you earn for hitting certain milestones on Carrywise, and we had tried everything to push it out. And as usual, products can always have their downtimes and all that. So I read somewhere about fake emails, how someone leaked a fake email talking to the CEO about gifting the users. So we built a campaign around that and said we're leaking an email of someone talking to our CEO about gifting cakes to our
I think I saw that.
users.
I think I saw that.
So
on Twitter then.
it helped actually. It gave the buzz and they had to like a follow-up campaign. Because there were very many lessons for me and the team from them, because we're a finance brand, there was always should have done it, even though it don't affect post trust, but I didn't really work. However, I picked up lessons. So I picked up a lot of experiments from different brands. I look at different brands, pick up the experiments, and I implement also either when I'm a career and even now that I'm at Okra, I make sure I do that in also there.
Right. So basically, growth marketing ideally is just about experimenting, picking your learnings, and then moving forward to do better things.
So I suggest that people still take certifications, and there's the Pro Marketing Institute PMI that you can start from, or if possible, you could also go through CXL or Julian Shapiro's demand called Growth Marketing course.
Okay, nice. So let's talk about funnel optimization. What strategies do you advise that growth marketers adopt to optimize funnels?
From the B2B side, which is where I am currently at Okra, you're looking at what is, like I said earlier, the free value that you can give to, say, a company A or a prospect A, and then the experience, and then you begin to nurture them to actually convert into paying customers. So for which I like to focus on the B2B side, which is very tough for most people, is the lead magnet experience.
Okay.
So lead magnet experience would require, the people use on the B2B side, but using more for the B2B. So, yeah. So in the B2B place I play currently, there's a lot of quest for knowledge, because I'll give you a very simple example. At Okra, someone wants to understand, a business executive wants to understand how they can speed up their onboarding process. Like, okay, someone wants to verify their identity, and you're telling them they need 14 hours to verify their identity. There's a lot of it still happens, you understand? So you write probably a very simple white paper about identity across Africa, and then show them the problem that they have. They come in, but they're not ready to sign up them because they don't know how reliable your system is. You get into an email flow, then they begin to receive, maybe the first thing you have like a call, maybe phone of your sales rep or your customer, like just like build that month. Next thing might be a demo or a testimonial from someone that has used Okra, like a top person that has used Okra before in the past. So for me, when it comes to funnel optimization for the business process, the lead magnet that brings them in, then there's a warm interaction between them and the people behind the brand, followed by a trust testimonial that tells you, okay, this is exactly how X has used this brand, before you even go on to say, let's convert you to become a customer. It might look like a very long journey, but for that aspect, particularly because like, most B2B customers are throwing a chunk of money into the business and they have to make a decision at that point. Like, and the usual person that's, oh, just sign up and that's the end for it for them. So that process, just that first step is that I use a lot of
This should be from your experience, individual experience. So, what channels do you think growth marketers should focus on to drive or attract more users? So, let's say B2C, for instance, now for B2C products.
It still boils down to the audience.
Okay.
So, if for example, I'm looking at a product for older Nigerians, say people within the ages of 30 to 45, given the demographics of use cases for our social platforms, are most likely to Facebook and YouTube. Interesting, because a lot of them are trying to watch YouTube videos and focus on influencers. So it's not about whether it's B2C or B2B. It is more about the audience you're trying to target, where exactly are they spending most of their time. Yes, and where are they spending most of their time. What kind of influencers do they follow? For example, if somebody is following a very senior pastor, for example, you expect that kind of person will most likely be on Facebook. So that you watch the Facebook live video of the pastors there, and you know the kind of influencer that they'll be interested in. You get that kind of. So it depends on the audience and where they spend their time.
So apart from the ability to grow quality and quantity of leads, right, and the ability to find creative ways to grow top of funnel, what other expertise do recruiters and CEOs look out for in growth marketers?
So this actually ties into one other problem I have with growth marketing. It is beyond acquisition.
Okay.
As a growth marketer, you're working with people that own each part of the funnel down to retention. Primarily, if you look at it from the user point of view, your job as a growth marketer is to ask yourself, how can you do growth loops? Growth loops simply mean how does one user bringing one other user or two other users down to the platform? Or if you're trying to like grow the supply side, say you're working on Uber for instance, grow the supply side of your business, how does one driver bring in another driver, bring in two more drivers, bring in three more drivers? Do you understand?
How do you drive, what's it called now, active users?
Okay, so the first question you have to answer about building a product, and it's not bad actually for this acquisition. Do you understand? It's not bad at all. The only problem is that's why as a growth marketer you have to be able to own your craft in the sense that you need to be able to even though your CEO or whoever is focused on acquisition, drive acquisition, but just make sure that along the funnel we have a plan that even though we are acquiring 400,000 users at this period of time, this is what will happen to make sure they come back. And that brings you to the point where you need to determine what is called the minimum profitable action or say minimum revenue action. And anyhow you want to call it. There's no, you can Google and might not find this, but it's what I always call it. In the sense that it is the minimum action that a user must take to ensure that they are active. For example, if you look at Twitter, the minimum action would be probably the amount of time you're spending on the platform in app. They want to like track that. So assuming that that's the minimum action, which I'm guessing it is, apart from tweeting and replying and other things. If you do not log into your account on Twitter for a specific number of days, Twitter will send you recommended tweets. That is why you can see how retention
Even from the in-app.
Yeah, retention has been built in from. But that's why when you're onboarding on Twitter, they ask you to follow certain accounts, pick up your interest. It's based on learnings that if you have interest in food or you have interest in sports, when you're not online, they send you tweets on football, they send you tweets on food that relate to your interest. You most likely log back in and try to follow those, and probably even comment or retweet or tweet about what you've seen there. You understand? So that idea that this is the minimum action we want a user to take. How do we now drive? So it's like thinking backwards. This is what we want. How do we now drive backwards from that to achieve X. Generally. So every growth marketer must understand what the minimum action should be and build experience around that to launch it.
Okay, yeah. So, what growth marketing tactics or strategy excites you, right? Maybe looking at what other brands in the industry have done, or maybe from your own end, particularly, right? Over the years of your career, what tactics or strategies do you, excite you the most?
There are 4 brands that excite me. There's HubSpot, there's Feranmi, there's ThreadUp, ThreadUp. They sell clothes, used clothes.
Okay.
Then I know that in e-commerce too. Then there's also Nestcoin, which is a new brand also. So the reason why I like each of them, I'll explain. Particularly, let's start with HubSpot, is how they give a lot of high value, free information to nudge you to get into that product further.
Yeah.
It's never going to convert, but a lot of people convert because of how high value their content is. If you search for anything, almost like content marketing around the paid market, you will see something from HubSpot. Then for ThreadUp, what I like about ThreadUp is how they gamify their experience. Usually people do giveaways to attract users. What ThreadUp does is they use giveaway to retain that user. So you buy one thing, they give you certain points. You buy another thing, they give you certain amount of points. You refer a friend, they give you certain amount of points. And those points are convertible to cash that can be spent. Now to make it even more interesting, your points can expire.
Interesting.
You get it? So let's say your points are accrued to say a 20% discount. That means you need to spend maybe to get that 20%. Or you cannot hold that 20% discount for a long time, so it can expire. So that first of all, it retains the user and nudges the user to still take further action in app, as opposed to using the giveaway to drive in to attract users. You see, it can be subtly insulting to your existing users when you're just focusing on external people that are not there yet and using money to attract them. They're asking a way that when you use that. It might not say, remember a small thing, but those little things will nudge users to become your ambassadors. That gamified experience, you understand? And for next time, it's a new crypto firm. What I really enjoy about them is how they're going from the community point of view to build traction. So as opposed to, well, let's just build a product and put it out there. First of all, educating, they have a community educating people about crypto, and they have a lot of products that they're probably mentioned in the product that they're working on. I find that very good. I love that approach of community first. Same thing that Feranmi use, community first before the product. But sometimes it can be very dangerous in the sense that you will have the community and you will find out that people don't like the products. So you just have a bad community that everybody. So you need to be very intentional about when you are actually pushing out that community. You should ensure that whatever product you're trying to sell should somehow be embedded into the community experience for you at that same time.
Okay, so in rounding up, let's talk about the fintech industry and regulations, and of course the governments. What do you think the government should do in creating enabling environments for tech startups in Nigeria?
So I don't have a very strong opinion there. More because I think I've been on both sides. I've seen how regulators might think, and I've seen how innovation is speed, regulation is protection. The regulator is thinking of how to protect the end person. So a lot of times we see a lot of policies that have come out from the high-end regulators, and people are confident like, oh, the regulator is trying to stifle innovation. To be very fair, a number of times they are stifled. There's a reason why, for example, some top payment companies in Nigeria are still surviving, despite the fact that they're dealing with handling foreign payments, despite the fact that regulators have been seen to kind of attack foreign payments or foreign regulators. Because in a way, they are solving a particular problem that the regulator is looking to solve without actually hampering the regulator's efforts. That's not my point. So that balance is needed. But like I said, it can't be perfect, and I don't think we have the perfect solution yet.
So, Twitter or Facebook?
Oh, Twitter, definitely. And the reason is, it's not because of the age.
Okay.
It's more like, Twitter is where everything leads to other platforms.
Yeah.
On Instagram or LinkedIn, people are taking screenshots. So every other platform today seems like a commentary of what's happening on Twitter.
Twitter, yeah, of course.
So that's why I like that. So you want to be at the core of where the news is starting or where the information is starting from, usually on Twitter.
Yeah.
when Elon Musk was having a drag with the World Food Program, he was on Twitter.
So ever since on Twitter.
Yes, he was on Twitter.
When the video raised money,
He was on Twitter.
On Twitter.
So there are a lot of things that are first hand on Twitter before they go to Lava. So for Twitter, I'll just Twitter.
I agree with you. I mean, Twitter has been helpful as a platform, especially in raising awareness for social causes. Sometimes raising funds for people. Okay, so Clubhouse or Twitter Space?
For stability, Clubhouse, but for virality and better, a larger audience, Twitter Space.
Okay, thank you so much, Feranmi, for taking time out to be here. Thank you once again, and I hope you enjoyed yourself.
Yeah, I did.
And thank you guys, thank you so much for watching. Please, I've not said this, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Look out for other interesting guests I will bring in to talk about their tech journey and how you as my viewer can gain one or two things from them. And also, more importantly, please share this video with your network, especially for those in your network that are looking at being an expert growth marketer, right? Please share this with them. You can never tell, they definitely will pick or learn one or two things from them, right? Till I see you again in the next video while I bring another guest. Thank you so much, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.